Well, here goes. Habs fan reaction to 3 losses in a row. Frustrating games to watch. So, should we go through a play-by-play of the misery all over again? Probably not. What's the good news? Well, do we need to fire our coach like the Leafs did? I don't think so. We're in a rebuild. We don't have to have the same high expectations that the Leafs fans seem to have of their prima donna overpaid players who, like our young developing players, don't seem to be playing a 200-foot game half the time. But you know what? Encouraging things for Habs fans. We got a lot of good talent in the pipe. We got a lot of good players on the ice right now. We're missing Drouin and Bryant and Byron, both good players who play a 200-foot game. And when they were on the ice, these sorts of defensive breakdowns didn't seem to happen as often. Carey Price didn't look very sharp against the Rangers. If he has an off night, we're going to have an off night. So you got to be philosophical about these things. It's no time to throw in the towel. We've got a lot of good things happening. Players are developing. We got good players on the ice. Got some positive things occurring. I mean, with the Rangers game, we lost at 6-5. Well, that's 5 goals scored. Some of them were power play goals. The power play is working. So that's great. Carey Price had managed to keep out just 1 or 2 of those goals. We might have had a completely different outcome there. And really, when we look at all 3 games, and even going back to the loss against the Devils in overtime, 3 out of 4 of these last 4 losses, the Montreal Canadiens had a very good chance of winning 3 out of 4 of those games. And if they'd been playing a little better, they could have beat the Blue Jackets as well. So no time to panic. I mean, what are our expectations this year? Are we expecting them to win the Stanley Cup this year? Well, that would be a Cinderella story, wouldn't it? So we're looking at development. We're looking at prospect players in the pipe, like Ryan Poehling, Caden Primo, good players coming up. We're looking at our experienced players playing well. Shea Weber's playing well. Carey Price overall has been playing well this year. We're looking at injuries, with Byron and Drouin in the lineup. Maybe we could have come away with more points in these last 3-4 games that are losses. So coaching, is that a factor? Well, I think Claude Julien's head was probably ready to explode after watching those defensive breakdowns. He's a defensive-minded coach. But the good news is the offense is working. We're scoring quite a few goals. So that's positive. Players learn to be defensive players, I believe, after they get better at offense. And so these are all developmental issues, and we're seeing good signs, and things are growing. In fact, I'm going to finish this one off not by saying go Habs go, but by saying grow Habs grow. Till next time, this has been your Habs fan reaction.